Hi everybody, I want to thank you all for coming to the board meeting today and the unveiling of our next big project. Today, I want to welcome all of you to the world of cognitive color with our next big game, Color Guru. The development team and the marketing team have been working super hard on this, and I know we are short on time today, so let's go ahead and get through this and we'll cover more details in another meeting later. So what is Color Guru? Color Guru is a mobile game that is all about just having fun, and while you're doing that, actually, you will be sharpening your mind and your critical response time. So, this is a game that is going to be friendly for all ages. It has so many different modes, and people are absolutely going to love it, and they're going to be hooked for a while. So, as you play, you can see yourself grow, your mind sharpen. It's beautiful, it's a lovely thing. Alright, so with that being said, how do you play this game? On the right side here, we have some images of the game itself. The first one is of the main menu. It is, a very sleek UI, very simple, so that when people get it, they can just hop right into the game. And then on the right side here is an actual screenshot of what it's like to be in game. In this case, this is the classic mode. We will dive into the different modes later. But let's go ahead and explain this. So, at the very top of that in-game shot, you can see a bar. That bar is your timer. Right below that, you can see a word. Now, that word is a word that represents a color, but the text itself is also colored in a different color than the word's meaning. So the goal of this game is you have to read that word, and then you have to select the box below that has the correct corresponding color to that word's meaning. So in this case, you would want to select that green box because the word above is green. Now I know it sounds simple, but when you're actually timed, this is an incredibly difficult thing. Um, Mentally, humans, it takes a second to process this, and this has been tested before. There are very limited other options out on the market right now, but a lot of them do not take this concept nearly as far as we do. They have it in there as just like a one off, quick shot. It's not actually a full game about it. There is no game that exists that's a full game about this concept. And so we have really gone deep into this, and all the game modes are incredible. So let's talk about those different modes. In the classic mode, um, the gameplay works exactly how I described just a moment ago. You read the word, you pick the corresponding color. Um, when you launch into a level, and there's a certain amount of levels built into the game right now. When you go into a level at the bottom, it has a counter that will say when you start, it'll say perhaps 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10, just depending on what level you're playing. So that means that's how many rounds you're going to be going through. So every time you make a correct selection, new colors, a new word, everything will generate automatically. And then you'll have to make a correct selection again, in a certain amount of time. If you do make the wrong selection, it is going to fail the level. You'll have to go back in, and just try again to get through it. Um, the development team, we're still working on this, but we want to have rewards. So perhaps after beating 10 levels, we are going to have a special level that is known as Color Rush, which is going to be where when you play Color Rush, all you do is it's the same fundamental gameplay as normal classic mode. However, every time you get one right, you get, an exponential amount of rewards. So the more you can get right, you're going to get much higher rewards. And so that way, you have that drive to get through the levels and keep going. Alright, with that being said, let's move on to arcade mode. Arcade mode works essentially the same way as classic mode, however, it goes on infinitely. You have to get a certain amount of selections right, and then your timer is going to reset. So yeah, you play infinitely. In this mode, since you can't actually beat it, how you sort of earn points and rewards is by your score. Every selection you make you get a certain score depending on how quickly you were able to make that choice. Okay, and let's talk about the last mode, my favorite, dearest to heart, competitive. This is where you go head to head with either a friend or any random player as long as your device can be connected to the internet. So in this mode, it also has the same point system as arcade mode. Um, and in this one, if you make a wrong selection, you do not lose the game. Both players have 1 minute from the starting time to go through and make as many correct choices as they can as fast as they can. If you make a wrong choice, it is going to deduct from your points. Whichever player has the most points at the end of the round is going to be the one who gets the significantly higher reward. Um, and those players who lost, they are still going to get a reward because a minute is time invested, and we don't want anyone to feel, like that time was wasted. So they'll still get a reward, but winners get significantly greater reward. Okay, so after talking about these rewards, let's talk about more what they are. So as you saw in the main menu, we have a store in this game. The rewards are an in-game currency that you can use to purchase things such as UI elements to change how it looks and power-ups for the solo modes. So let's dive into the store a little bit more. So for the UI elements, these are things that you can buy that will change how your game looks. So these could be how the buttons look, change the colors of them, change the backgrounds for your main menu, for your in-game play, and much more. So that way you can really customize it to how you want. In addition, you can also purchase solo mode power-ups. These include freezing the timer in the game. You can make the word that you're reading the same color as the definition. So you don't have to even read the word, just match the colors. And then there's also one that will automatically eliminate two incorrect options. So those are great, and again, only for solo modes to keep online competitive play fair. So with the game obviously being all about colors, we don't want to leave anybody out. This game is really for the people. We want it to be as inclusive as possible. So in the settings menu, we have a whole variety of colorblind modes that you can enable. They will change the colors of the game so that anybody can play. No one's going to feel left out, and everyone can have a good time. Alright, so talking about the settings menu, in addition to having those different colorblind options, this is also where you're going to have all of your volume controls. So you'll have the special effects volume for things like pressing the buttons, those sounds. You'll have your music volume and just like a master volume. Overall, you can control all those. And the settings menu is also where you're going to view all of your statistics. So this will be your arcade and competitive mode high scores. For classic mode, you're going to see over multiple periods of time, you can look at them. You're going to see how your response time has improved from, day one to month one to year one, and really see your growth. So that is just a great option that we've put in there. And so for this game, how are we going to advertise something like this? Consumers don't really want something that is purely just like they think is educational. So even though this is sort of secretly a side effect of it, we are going to be advertising the fun parts of it. And from all of our market research, there is a certain type of advertising that is absolutely booming and doing phenomenal right now. Um, and this is essentially challenging the players who see the advertisements to beat their game or beat a level in their game because they see someone else in the advertisement who cannot. And so this gets the consumer thinking, well, hey, that looks like I can do that. Why don't I go ahead and give it a shot to see if I really can? Because people want to prove something to themselves. So this is what we're going to be going with. On the right side, I have a meme attached, as these youths say, that sort of demonstrates this type of advertising. So you can see here, it says 99% of people can't beat this level. And then you have a screenshot of the game or a video of someone playing the game. And so this really gets people thinking that they can but they really want to prove it to themselves. And download rates through companies that have been using this tactic are absolutely through the roof. So this is what we're going to be going with, and it's going to be great. So again, I want to welcome you all to the world of cognitive color. This is Color Guru. The piece that you're seeing here, this is one of our very first flyers that have been designed for this game. And, hopefully next week for launch, it's going to be a great success. Again, thank you all for coming to this meeting. Email me if you have any questions.